A school teacher sent to prison for 11 days for not using pronoun they when addressing a transgender student. Welcome back to Riks Europe, Dr Heather Brunskell Evans.
Hello, good to be back.
This made headlines, and there's footage that's gone viral where you actually see this happening in real time. A teacher being sent away with the police because of using this pronoun they when addressing a transgender student. Could you tell us more about what happened?
This was in Ireland, a European country, in which a teacher who does not believe that men can be women or women can be men refused to comply with the ideology of the school that this is the case about transgenderism. Now, the shocking thing about this, the really shocking thing for anybody who, of whatever their views of transgenderism, is that in a European country, somebody could be arrested by the police, taken away, put into a police van, taken away and put in prison for not believing in an ideology which is not founded in empirical fact. But even if it were founded in empirical fact, the heavy-handedness of the law is so, it's frightening, actually. It should frighten us all, whatever our views are. Because unless we object collectively to this creeping behavior of the authorities to police our thoughts, whatever they are, on a number of different subjects, we will be going on a slippery slope to an authoritarian society, which, as we know, the history of the 20th century demonstrates, slips easily into fascism. So it is this topic, which is terrible for this teacher and his family, who have been subjected to this heavy-handed oppression by the legal system. But it should concern us all, because I think this is symptomatic of something else that's going on in our society, in liberal Western democracies.
As mentioned before, it has gone viral, and of course you can read comments of the footage on various social media platforms. But how divided are people? Are there people who think this is the way forward, and are there people who really are objecting to this? Is there a big war on this, or do you feel that generally people are reacting very strongly against this?
Well, I think people are reacting very strongly against it, which is good. But this is, in a sense, this is just located to social media and the kind of conversations that go on. So we have two things here. We have the ordinary person, if we can call people on social media the ordinary person, on the one hand, and we have state authorities on the other. Hopefully, the kickback that the authorities will get, just in terms of resistance, will affect things. But it seems that the trajectory is that the authorities and the state carry on regardless of how objectionable people feel about such issues. So what we've really got to be worried about is the ideological capture of our institutions and social policies and our government institutions by different ideologies. And if you fall on the wrong side of whatever that ideology is, you are in trouble. So yes, there is a kickback. I'm very pleased about that. It's very relieving that there's a kickback. Nevertheless, there's the larger issue of the ideological capture of education, schools, universities, and social policy, hate speech, and the policing of our thoughts. It's the policing of our thoughts that is the result of the ideological capture, which is extremely worrying We should all be very worried about it.
And you mentioned the kickback and policing of hate speech. Obviously, UK has made changes in controlling, so to speak, freedom of speech, monitoring online, said reasons being to sort of stop disinformation. But with such a kickback from people, will this be a lasting thing, or is there already talk of trying to change this or do something different?
Well, I'm quite heartened by the kickback personally, because I think that with regard to the authorities, there is an attempt to police misinformation. Is an attempt to, on the one hand, it seems like there's an attempt to protect people from being hated upon, or protect people from that hate could lead to violence. So it's framed in terms of it's for all of our freedoms, but of course it depends on what you regard as hate speech and who makes the decision as to what is hate speech and what isn't hate speech, which views are acceptable and which views aren't. Now, the only ways in which this can be thrashed out is for us to have a public debate. And I think the kickback now against the trend of government to actually be policing us under the guise of looking after us is a good sign. I really do. So, yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Heather Brunskell Evans.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for watching Riks Europe.